Everything you've been sold about the future of webinars is mostly theater. The AI avatars, the virtual reality rooms, the fancy new posts, it certainly looks futuristic, but it doesn't get sales. And while everyone's chasing the shiny stuff, the things that actually decide whether your next webinar makes you money, well, most people, they're not telling you about them. So today I'm going to show you the ones that matter. Because if you actually use AI the right way, it will transform your webinars into a cash generating machine. I know I sound like a guru there, but yes, that is literally what it can do for your webinars. First of all, quick introduction. I'm Terence. I've been running ad campaigns and building webinar funnels for coaches, course creators, and service businesses for over a decade now. In that time, we've generated over 2 million event leads since 2014 across the US, Australia, Asia, and Europe. And in that time, I've watched a lot of future of marketing trends come and go. I mean, remember when every event, including your webinars, was gonna happen in the metaverse, with those little legless avatars floating around a virtual conference hall? I mean, even good old Zuckerberg threw $80 million at it. Well, where is that metaverse now? I don't see it. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what's actually changing about webinars in 2026, what is hype and what is real. And near the end, the one piece of tech we've started using that's becoming our secret weapon. Well, it won't be so secret anymore after I tell you about it, but hey, what the heck, I love you guys and I want you to succeed. So I'm not gonna hold anything back from you, okay? If that's fair, make sure you watch to the end because that is going to be awesome. But first, let's talk about why most businesses get this completely wrong. Because, see, the mistakes all come from the same place. 1. They chase engagement instead of conversion. More posts, more chat, more reactions. Looks great, but then at the end of the day, it often sells nothing. 2. They think more tech automatically means more sales. Buy the shiny 2 that is sold on the meta ad and think that is the magic pill to solve all their sales problems. And 3, they treat AI like a content vending machine, not an active implementer. And 4, they pour all their money into getting people to register, but then when it comes to follow-up, they're pretty weak. It's like buying a beautiful car and then pushing it to work every morning because you never bothered to put fuel in it. See, most people do the expensive part and that's generating leads, but then they skip the cheap part that actually makes it go. So fix these 4 and you're already ahead of most in your market. So let's go through what actually gets results, shall we? Because the gurus will tell you to make your webinar interactive so people stay awake. But that's not why interactivity wins. See, here's the thing. Every time someone interacts, goal is to get them to make a tiny commitment. They fill in an extra detail to register, they add the event to the calendar, they answer poll, they type yes in the chat, and every little yes makes the next yes easier. So by the time you ask for the sale, they've already said yes to you like a dozen times without realizing it. And that is the real job of interactivity. It's not to entertain, it's to build agreement, one small step at a time. But there's a second reason, and this is where it gets really interesting because every interaction is also data. Who answered the poll? Who typed a question? And who stayed to the end? And who dropped off at minute 41? Most people throw all that away, but smart people are actually using it because data tells you exactly who to follow up with and what to say. In fact, we are testing an AI software now that follows up with webinar participants based on what they say at the webinar. 100% personalized follow-up. So if they said, that's cool at minute 41 when you were presenting a new feature, the AI will send them an email saying, hey John, you mentioned you like our new feature in the webinar. Would you like me to send you a demo video on that specific feature? But amazing, right? Think of it as a party. If you spend an hour talking to someone and they nodded at everything you said, you probably follow up differently than the guy who grabbed a drink and left after 5 minutes. It's the same webinar, just completely personalized follow-up. So next, let's talk about AI, because everyone gets this wrong too. People hear AI in webinars and in their minds they picture an AI avatar presenting for you or a tool that spits out your slides. But that's not where the money is. And yes, we have used AI avatars for webinars before, so we know. See, AI does two real jobs in the webinar. The first one is uncomfortable, because AI now hands people the how for free. Teaching on a webinar is basically dead. So that's how AI has changed webinars. If someone can ask ChatGPT how to do the thing and get a decent answer in 10 seconds, why would they want to sit through your 60-minute webinar? They won't. It's like opening a restaurant next to a free all-you-can-eat buffet, and your big selling point is that you also serve food. Nobody's gonna pay you for what they can get for free, right? So the webinar's job is no longer to teach, it's to shift what people believe is possible for them. See, a chatbot can hand someone a checklist, but it can't hand them a room full of people nodding along, or a real result from a real client, or a presenter that's actually lived the thing. That's your edge. Use it. The second job is follow up. Like I mentioned before, you can follow up based on what someone typed in the chat or the exact minute that they left the webinar. Third job is interaction. See, there are tools out there that are able to interact with participants, answer questions, address objections, and show the link to your offers. I must admit, we are just testing these at the moment and haven't rolled it out yet for our clients, but the tech is there. What this means is that you can be a one-man band, rock up to present at your webinar, and your AI assistant does all the important support work. No more spending weeks training a VA to support your webinar, or having them take a sick day when you have big presentation to hundreds of people. Alright, so here's the piece that almost nobody is using yet, and it's quietly becoming our secret weapon, the one that you've been waiting for, and that is voice AI, right? I'm talking about a real AI that picks up the phone and has an actual conversation with your leads out loud like a person. And 98% of people can't tell it's AI. We run ours on a platform called Vapey. Now, why does this matter so much? Because email open rates are just terrible, SMS messages are just easy to ignore, WhatsApp gets banned easily. Tell me about it. So all those leads you paid good money for, they just sit on your database, rotting because no one freaking opens the email. Look, granted, not all phone calls get picked up, but it's a very effective channel. We use voice AI for 3 jobs. The first is database reactivation. It calls up the old leads sitting on your list and either gets them to register for a webinar or just restarts a sales conversation. The second one is confirmation calls. It phones everyone who signed up for your webinar and confirms they are actually coming. And here's the clever bit. If they say they can't make it for the webinar they registered for, it proposes to register them for a future webinar that they can actually attend. So you stop losing people who were interested but just had the wrong date. The third is a post-webinar follow-up. It calls the people who stayed and listened to your offer, answers their questions, handles the objections, and points them to sign up. So anyone who's interested or on the fence can get passed to a human sales team. Now, let me show you some real numbers. This is from one client's first month running this voice AI that we built for them. Of course, results aren't typical, but I want you to see what's possible. All right, so on the confirmation course, we dialed 41 people who registered and we wanted to confirm their attendance. The AI reached about 6 out of 10 of them and had a real back and forth conversation with over 4 in 10. 7 of them confirmed they were coming, plus a few maybes. So the cost of all that was $2.80 to confirm 7 people were coming for the webinar, right? So that's totally worth it. I mean, you pay like $10, $15 for webinar registration. And on the no-show, We caught these people, 94 people of them missed the webinar. Again, about 6 out of 10 picked up the phone, and nearly 1 in 5 agreed to rebook themselves into the next webinar. The cost of that was $6.51, right? So we got a few people registering for the follow-up webinar for $6. And after the webinar, the 223 people who stayed to hear the pitch, the AI had real conversations with 73 of them. 15 said they were interested, plus another 9 on the fence. All these got handed to the sales team. Now, I don't have transparency on the sales yet from their sales team, but I can assume quite a few of them would have taken up the offer. I mean, that's over 20 possible sales calls, qualified sales calls, and only the whole cost of following up was like $20. So in total, we spent $29, and the AI reached hundreds of leads that email would have missed. It recovered no-shows, it rebooked people, it handed warm buyers to the sales team. Now imagine what those recovered leads and rebooked seats are worth to you over a month. I'll let you do the math. See, the reason it works is simple. It's a conversation, not a notification. It never gets tired, never clocks off, and it'll happily call your leads at 8 p.m. while your sales team is at home watching Netflix. That's what future-proofing actually looks like. Not a flashier sales deck, but a machine that picks up the phone. Now you might be thinking, so the future is just handing everything to robots? No, it's quite the opposite. See, here's what most people are missing. As AI floods every feed and every inbox with the same polished content, the rarest thing in the world becomes a real human, a real story, real proof, a presenter who's actually been where the audience is. So voice AI can book the call, it can confirm the seat, it can revive a dead lead. But what it can't do is to be the reason someone finally believes change is possible for them. That is still you. Think about it. When everyone's inbox is full of AI written emails that all sound the same, the one thing that stops the scroll is a message that feels like it came from an actual person who gets it. The robots are gonna make everything average, so average is worthless now. Being genuinely human is the rarest thing on the internet. And look, not all of us can present like Russell Brunson or Jason Fladen, but that's the good news, because with the right system around you, an average presenter beats a world-class closer who has no system at all. I believe the future isn't human versus AI. It's human strategy and human connection at the core, with AI doing the heavy lifting around it. The businesses that get that balance right are the ones that win in the next few years. For example, one of our clients helps divorced women rediscover their confidence because our client, has been through it herself. AI can't go through a divorce and understand it at a deep level, what that's like. But our client can, and she can connect with a target market like no AI can. But AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting around her webinar. So out of everything here, which one are you gonna fix first? Your interactivity, your follow-up, or picking up the phone with voice AI? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to go deeper on the lead gen side of things, grab my book Lead Surge for free. The link is in the description. Look, none of this means you have to rebuild everything tomorrow. Pick the one lever that's leaking the most money and that's gonna get you the most results, and fix that first. The tools will keep changing. Trends will keep coming and going, but what actually wins stays the same. And that's getting in front of the right people with the right message, shift what they believe, and follow up like a human, even when it's a machine doing the talking. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and I'll see you on the next one.